Andrew Azuka Marah. I'm from Delta State of Nigeria.
Hi, my name is Kim Hang. I'm from Vietnam, the south of Vietnam. I think it's in the year 2006.
Yeah, that was in Ho Chi Minh City, the economic hub of Vietnam in south of Vietnam. I was teaching, and I had opportunity to have appointment also from outside Ho Chi Minh City, and they promised to give me a ride because it was not easy for me to get right to the school. There, one day she came to pick me to school. I did not know that she is one of the directors of the school, so we interacted and loved each other, and then it progressed and we advanced into marriage. Is that right?
Yeah.
You know, as at that time, there were only just few blacks in Ho Chi Minh City or in Vietnam, 2006. And the Vietnamese people are only used to American blacks, so they group everybody as American. But because she's a linguistic and she knows about geography and many other things, so she understands that a Nigerian is not really an American. So what happened?
Because he's a foreigner in my country, and at that time there were not many foreigners in our era. So it took me time to make the introduction, his presence to my family, to my relative, and took time to convince my parents to understand about his culture, about his country, about his color. Yes, that's it. But we have the approval for my parents for our marriage. Of course, everybody can see that we come from different culture, different country, different language. So everybody can guess the first problem that is the language barrier. Lucky that I can speak some English, so it's not a very big problem to me. And about culture, we know there are some difference, but how different? How big is it? How big is it? We don't know until the time we live to each other. In the daily life, there are a lot of things we have to face with. For example, the way I express myself in English and the way he expresses himself in English is different. Sometimes we have some misunderstanding. And also food, also the problem too. I eat the food that I was brought up, and sometimes I miss my food, and I eat it with all enjoyment, with all my memories. And he is too, but our food is different. And like somebody says, some man meat.
One man's meat is another man's poison. Right?
Yes, and he likes Vietnamese food in general. A lot of kind of noodle in Vietnam, he like it. All Vietnamese know like bún, phở, hủ tiếu. A lot of like some kind of rolling like spring roll, like bánh xèo, many things. But one kind of food that makes him frightened, I can explain to you that is Vietnamese called hột vịt lộn. This is a kind of duck egg with the baby inside. So every time I eat that, he run away. And unlucky for him that my son enjoyed that one too. So when we like to eat that, we have to go out, or we bought that kind of at home, prepare, and let him know that now we want to eat. He ran into his room, closed very well, and wait for the time we finish eating, pack away all the things, wash our mouth so that the order go away. Yes.
And it's also not only me. As a Nigerian, we one of my friends said that we like heavy grubby, so we like heavy food. We pound the yam or cassava or fufu, and we swallow this food. But when I invite my wife, she begin to chew it.
Yes,
So the side of it sometimes, I told her, up till now, you don't know how to swallow. She said it's difficult for her. So why?
because to me, chewing the food is the way you enjoy the food. But you put the food into your mouth and you swallow, and that is not soup, that is the solid food. So I have to choose. I can't put into the mouth and swallow. Up till now, I can't swallow it the way he does himself.
So food was one of the things we never thought would give us any problem. But you find out that every culture, like in her place, there are over 50-something ethnic groups with different food. And the same thing in my place. So not all the food will be attracted to her or she will like, and so also mine. So that is what we never thought when we were getting married.
And everybody should be ready to accept the new things. And of course, the most important thing is love. With love, you can conquer all the difficulty. So we try ourselves to adapt into a new culture and accept it, open-minded. This is what I think. And you?
Yeah, it is challenging, but the beauty of it is that if you are flexible, ready to adapt, respect, give, forgive, and understand each other, it is very, very interesting because you expand your horizon in the area of culture, the way different people behave, the way different languages are being spoken and accepted, and their norms. So when you come into that and you're perfect, you can move anywhere in the world. And it is interesting because it's a very big value. One of the funds I can really say is that, for example, Vietnamese people are very receptive. They are kind, and if you go to Vietnam, you'll find that it is a very big tourist country. And why do tourists come? Because of the love they receive and the kind of hospitality that is being meted with people that come from various places. So when you marry, and you marry from a foreign country, and you blend yourself very well with their culture, and your spouse also the same, my advice is that it is fun and it is admirable because the world is one, and we should try to break these barriers of language, thinking of geography, thinking of color, thinking of, in fact, all are fun. For example, when she come to Nigerian community, everybody want to talk with her. Everybody love her. When I was in Vietnam, I was able to spend about 15 years there because I have a lot of friends. Though that I do not speak the language, but every day I discover new things, I find new things, and this is the spice of life. And what else? Why do we live?
He speaks English, and my parents can't speak English. So how can we communicate? Of course, I have to work as interpreter. And the time when he come to my parents, of course, not always I have time to go with him, right? So he go there, and my parents have to learn the way to communicate with him, and he learn the way to communicate with my parents. And I still remember the time when we wed. I was a bride then, but also an interpreter for him. By his side, I talk all the time to explain to him why people do this, why people do that, and what is the next step, how to do it, to explain to him. Because sometimes we let him watch the wedding ceremony before, but the time when he was a groom himself, it's quite different. He feels so confused. So, as a bride, people always keep quiet, feel shy, but I have no time to shy then. Yeah.
So you know why? In Vietnam, when you come for the traditional marriage, and I was not informed before. A lot of presentation, different gold, different jewelries, and somebody will ask you to stand up. And when you stand up, they ask you to wear your wife the earring, the necklace, and in the presence of the whole people, and you are not used to it, you begin to search for the hole on the ear, and it could be so fun. Everybody will be clapping hands, and that also gel you up, and then it's fun. And I think I love
remember
that.
he shook a lot when he went. He shook. Yes.
Not easy because we do
Because
not know
all the
that.
people around look at him, and he didn't prepare. He didn't know how to wait. He began to look for the home. Took time.
Yes, it was fun, and I can never forget that. And after the marriage, you see many people coming, congratulations, this and that, and asking me how I feel. Not unlike if I had married a Nigerian, I know what to do, and nobody will ask me all those questions.
We got married in Vietnam, and we stay in Vietnam. And my son was born in Vietnam. So, and I believe that when you are in Rome, do as the Romans do. So when he stayed in Vietnam, Vietnamese culture become more prominent. He stayed in the Vietnamese community, and of course he had to try to adapt himself with it. And I teach him how to do this, how to do that. And even my son, he grew up. The language in my family is English. And I want my son to have the perfect English. So we didn't speak Vietnamese to him for the first 3 years because I believe that he grew up in the Vietnamese environment. He could speak Vietnamese by himself. And that's true. When he was 3, we began to send him to kindergarten. And that is the time he started to speak Vietnamese. But of course, we have to switch. When I come to Nigerian community, I have to adapt myself. Like now, we moved to Canada. We have to adapt ourselves in Canadian culture. And even my son, he exposed to Canadian culture more than that because he spent most of his time in the school and with his friend. So he come back home and he talk to us. This is the way the Canada do. This is the way Canada think. This is the way Canada cook. He teaches us how to adapt ourselves too.
Intercultural marriage is the first step to adaptation because you have to adapt. And when you think about immigration, it's meaning when you move from one place to another to meet with the people, can you be able to blend with them? So already we are not blending and learning new things, accepting other people's culture, and not holding tight to your own personal culture is what we have already gone through and know. So when we came into Canada, food, the language, the new people, the new environment is not a new thing to us because we already know that we have to blend, and we have been blending. So it's part of our life. So it's so helpful to us coming to Canada to settle.
I think I can benefit from both two community. I mean Vietnamese community and Nigerian community. So I have friends from the two communities and I can receive help from them. And of course, nothing that make me so shocked because I come from international family too. I mean, my mom is a Vietnamese, my dad originally from China. So I grew up in the family that the father speak another language, the mother speak another language, and I don't understand what my father taught to other when I was young. So like now, when we come to Canada, and I'm happy that this is a place for immigrant. And I'm happy that the government right here respect people culture and try to encourage us to keep our culture. And they accept the diversity. That's what I really enjoy in this country. Like today, I wear my traditional clothes, and I feel very happy to show to my husband people, his community, that this is the traditional clothes. Yeah, and unlucky that he doesn't have his traditional clothes in his country to wear today. Yeah, we really enjoy.
We are all human beings and life is one. The most important thing in marriage is love, acceptance, forgiveness, understanding, and that for the environment, wherever you find yourself, be part of that environment and contribute to it and become meaningful in that society.
I think as a child in an international family, you have a lot of advantages. Like my son, the time when I sent him to school, after 1 week he came back home and he asked me, Mom, why Dad look different from other? Why he's so dark? Why he's so black? Why his hair different? Why he speak another language? He asked me all those things because I know he didn't recognize it until the time people around, his teachers, his friends begin to ask him about that. So I begin to explain to him. At first sight, he feel a little shy that he looked different from other. But later, when I explain and when he see that he can speak another language that people can't, he can understand many things. When he watch film, he can watch many English film, for example, like that. So he begin to feel proud of himself. Like now, he feel proud of himself that he's a mixed black baby. He come from two country, two culture. Yeah, he feel happy about that.